Grace and peace, family. So glad that you've tuned in to ICB on YouTube or on Facebook, or maybe you're catching a clip of this on Instagram. I want to invite all the men to our this year's men's retreat, Optimized Manhood, June 1st through June 3rd at Honest Haven Resort. Come, my brother, and practice self-care. Practice self-care. So for my brothers and my sisters who are watching, I just want to share this word with you. Are you practicing self-care? Well, how do you know? Let's maybe just answer a few questions. I got these questions from Pete Scazzero's Emotionally Healthy Spirituality Assessment. Here are a few questions. Number one, true or false? Do you feel caught up in a rat race? Now, someone might say, what's a rat race? Well, a rat race is an endless, self-defeating, pointless pursuit. Do you feel caught up? Do you wake up in the morning wondering, what am I going to do? Why am I doing it? It kind of feels like it's like things are just futile. You have movement, but no progress. There's movement, but no progress. Second question, true or false? I spend sufficient time alone with God to sustain my life for God. I spend sufficient time alone with God to sustain my life for God. True or false? Third question. I regularly take a 24-hour period each week for Sabbath keeping. Now, what's Sabbath keeping? Well, Sabbath keeping is the principle of observing a time of rest, worship in God's presence, leisure, renewal. True or false? Do you do that? True or false? I set aside consistent time to stop, rest, delight, and contemplate. I set aside consistent time to stop, rest, delight, and contemplate. Do you do those things? Well, I'm not here to make you feel guilty. You can start this week. It requires some effort, and it requires potentially some faith, and it requires what I'll talk about next time in regards to having the faith to engage another spiritual practice. I'll save that for next time. But right now, especially because I'm trying to encourage my brothers, especially the ICB leaders. If you're an ICB leader, you're a small group leader, you've been really in the trenches doing men's ministry. Are you practicing self-care? If you answered false to those questions, to two or more of those questions, then you don't want to miss this year's retreat. My brother, come and practice self-care. What's self-care? Self-care, as defined by Adele Calhoun in her book, Spiritual Disciplines Handbook, she says, self-care honors God through nurturing and protecting the body, the mind, and the spirit with their limits and desires. It means honoring God through nurturing and protecting the body, mind, and spirit with their limits and desires. So what's the motivation behind self-care? It's not about being selfish. No, it's not selfish. Self-care is a branch of being a good steward over your spirit, soul, and body. What's the motivation? To value ourselves as our Heavenly Father values us. Do you value yourself as your Heavenly Father values you? If you've been working for God but not spending any time with God, you're missing out on enjoying and celebrating the value God has placed over and in your life. If you're simply feeling like you're in a rat race, an endless pursuit, lots of movement, no progress, your goals are not in sight, they're not clear whether or not you're hitting the target, you're shadow boxing but you're not hitting the target, just flailing your arms everywhere, then especially for my brothers, please do not miss Optimized Manhood, June 1st through June 3rd at Honors Haven Resort. You don't want to miss it. Invest in yourself. Seize the time, take the time, practice self-care by investing in a weekend between you, Jesus, and other men of God who are seeking the face of God and practicing self-care. My brothers, I hope to see you there. Thank you for watching. Once again, the question, are you practicing self-care? God bless.